and as Tree said, that I am in a very male-dominated industry, and I do a lot of project management, so I have a lot of dealings with trades on site and our suppliers and also designers, and I do a lot of designing with my clients as well. And I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I have gotten where I've gotten and how I got there, and that I actually saw something recently when they said that the feeling that you get when you're nervous is exactly the same feeling when you get excited. So I'm very excited tonight. I have to say. When we were talking, I very much agree with Peter that it is about the journey, and the journey does make your destination so much more valuable, and it's the journey that gives you the life experiences and makes you confident when you get there. But it's really important to know where you're going in that journey. You need to really visualize where you want to be, and it's down to the smallest details. Those small goals as well as the big ones as well. So when we do projects, we're doing $1 million homes, and we need to visualize how that home's going to be at the end and how it's going to be used. And with my trades, when we have problems and stuff, we need to visualize where we need to be so we can figure out how to get there and help you through those obstacles. But you need to keep that end destination in mind to keep you on track. And I find in the design world, there's so many inspiring things and there's so many directions that you can take, and often you can get swept up in that and lose your focus, lose your direction. And your journey, you still may go on your journey, but you go the long way instead of the short way. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing, but if you have your destination, you can really keep yourself on point. As a builder, time management is really important for us. So having that on point is key to our success. But I do this in all aspects of my life. I would do my don't sit there visualising me asking my children to pack their school bags in the morning with a smile on their face. And I'd be lying to say that happened every morning. There is many meltdowns and that we don't quite get that, but that's important because I know that not to do that the next day. And you know, if I know that it's one step in the right direction, Einstein said that he was excited for every mistake he made because he knew it was one step in the right direction. And you will make mistakes, and that's okay. Mistakes are made, and they're there to be. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow. And some of the biggest mistakes have been the biggest milestones in our business. So, you know, mistakes that you really need to embrace them head on and beat them, and that is really vital for that. Studies show that people who visualise their destination are more successful in getting there than people that don't. And I mean down to the smallest detail. So if I was to say to you, where would you see yourself in 5 years? I would imagine that many would say, I see myself being successful, and that I am successful. And my question to you would be, what does that success look like? What is success to you? What is your work-life balance? If I was to come and see you in 5 years' time and take a photograph, what would fill the background of that photograph? Would you have a studio? Do you have a large team or a small team working with you? Do you work on your own? And that when people talk about you at dinner parties, what words would they use to describe you? And that what values would you want your brand to be known for? And that nutting all of this out at the beginning is so vital to helping you get to your destination and planning your journey. And planning your journey helps you get there. It helps you not lose your way. And that if you don't have a destination, then it's like hopping on a plane with nowhere to land. So when you fly up into the sky, sure, the view might be lovely on the short term, but it's sad to say you can run out of fuel. You can crash. And that's an opportunity. The destination not reached. The goal not achieved. It has happened to many people I see now in my building industry, in our trades and our businesses, and they're good people with great ideas and a lot of ambition, but they just don't keep on point. They don't push through those barriers, and they get caught up on the small stuff. And visualising that destination is just so key to do that. Every project we have, there is a destination. There is a goal, there is an end product for us. We're very lucky. There's a start, a middle and a finish, and often at the finish there are smiling faces, which we also enjoy. At the beginning stage, a lot of work's put into assessing what that destination is. So people come to us with a plan on a white piece of paper that is flat, and we need to visualise how people are going to be living their lives in there. We're lifestyle builders. We're not building homes to make problems for our clients in the future. We're building homes that grow with them, that nurture their uniqueness, and that when they come home, it is like a holiday. They take a deep breath. They almost let the weight of their shoulder gets left at the front door. And so we spend a lot of time at that preliminary stage visualising that and coming all this information together. When we do have problems on work, we often call them challenges, not problems. I get called on site to assess them with our trades and the builder and often some other experts. And we do a process that we like to call back to basics. So any obstacle that you come up against, you assess your needs versus your wants. And I don't know if any of you have your parents say this to you, but often when I was complaining as a teenager, my father would turn around to me and say, Catherine, do you need it or do you want it? And now I use it every day on my website. When we have problems in our websites, we have our destination, which are our wants. That's our design, our customer vision. That's pretty much where we start, and then we work backwards from there. Get to our wants, we need to know what our needs are. So our core values, when problems we have on our worksite, we revert back to our core values. In our worksite, core values are that it needs to be structurally sound, needs to meet the Australian standards, withstand the elements, have longevity, and a quality finish, because we're known for quality homes. And all of these practices are key. And I often say to our clients that a job well done often goes unnoticed, but you always notice a bad job. And it's all this practice that you do at the beginning to assess these core values. We really believe strongly. We live and breathe these values on our website, and they're our needs. And what I'm trying to say is I totally agree with Peter about the journey. So your destination, that's your wants. But your needs are how you get there. That's the journey. And knowing your core values will keep you on track, will make you enjoy that journey. It's what helps you sleep at night. Knowing your core values and that you can honour them every day. And that we have a problem on our website where we just started excavating and found that there was no structural support for the concrete slab of the house that was built in the 90s. This is a common problem that we have in renovations and extensions. So our tradesmen had to spend 2 days digging under an existing slab to add additional pier work. So this home had a long life ahead of it. But when we figured this problem out, there was a little bit of stress on the phone when I came down on site. We have a very qualified team behind us. So I had an engineer on site, a builder, myself, and we assessed the problem and we went back to basics. So our first one is that it had to be structurally sound, and at the moment it wasn't. We had our engineer and our builder on site to assess those needs. Then we had to meet the Australian standards, and in Australia we have some of the highest standards in the world that we have to comply by. So our tradesmen do work very hard to comply by those, and I respect them greatly for those because I'm forever being educated on them. The book is thicker than you can imagine, and they are forever pushing our limits, and Australian standards also come into account when you assess industry experience, because sometimes what it says on a piece of paper may not be enough. Then we need to make sure that they withstand the elements, and in our preliminary stage we assess all of our soil, our content, everything like that. We run through our tick list with that with our engineer. Then we have the longevity of the actual product itself, because we need to leave something better than what it was when we first came. And then I pop up for the quality finish. I say, no, that's not going to work. Our clients won't be happy with that. We need to make sure that we really honour that integrity and the client vision of that build. And that's how we get to our destination. I wanted to really focus on this because when you come up on hurdles in your industry, and sometimes things are unfair, and people get an advantage because of their situation or someone they know or their gender or whatever you come up against, but you keep your destination in mind and you keep driving, and this is what's going to push you past those hurdles. You may have been told a number of times that the building industry is slowing down and to get ready for it. And this is definitely the case from what I see. We do assess a lot of, we're close friends with a lot of civil engineer companies, and we know when they slow down, we're about 12 months behind them in the slowing rate. As a builder, I need to tell you that we are very excited for this slowdown, and that we work tirelessly to better the industry standard, and in the boom times it allows bad practice builders to get away with a lot of things, and it puts a lot of stress on good practice builders to keep on producing. As the industry readjusts, you'll see a shift in the quality and in the practice. Where builders were able to get away with bad practice and hide amongst the sea of good practice builders, they are no longer to withstand this work ethic, and they will either disappear or they'll have to come up and meet standards set by their peers. So we're very excited for this slowdown and the risk readjustment in the industry. I'd be lying to say that a slowing industry may not affect you, because there's a good chance that it will. But what I'm saying is that you can either see this as an opportunity or you can see this as an excuse. As Tria said, I am a woman in a male-driven industry, and I do not see this as a disadvantage, but more an opportunity. I embrace that I am a woman, and I take advantage of that. Yes, women and men are different. So are Americans and Australians. So are Christians and Catholics. So are cats and dogs. I focus on working hard and am forever learning and growing as a project manager and a creative director in my business. I personally keep in contact with all of my trades and focus on my job, which is keeping our builds on track, on time and on budget, without jeopardising the integrity of the home and respecting our customers' vision. I do work in an industry where high heels and acrylic nails aren't always welcome on site. My shoes are clogged with clay and mud 60% of the time, and I navigate the needs versus my client wants on a daily basis. And I live in it, and I just love the building industry, from concept to design to completion, the whole aspect of it. It is something that it's something that I just really enjoy. It's part of my life. I'm partnered with an amazing builder who has extensive knowledge in the building industry, from industrial, rural to residential. He has been involved in construction projects from luxury car dealerships to factories to horse shelters, airports designs, residential homes, holiday homes. Our company was contracted on to build the nose dock for the arrival of the Airbus A380 in Sydney Airport, which was a project that we were really happy to be a part of, and felt like it was a little bit of history in Sydney. This builder is my husband, so he may feel as though I've been a little biased, but I have to say there is no way that I could do what I do without having someone as qualified and as experienced as him by my side, and I am daily surprised by the knowledge that he has. And that without having someone with the same passion and purpose as I do, there's no way that we would be where we are today. We love the Big Bang style of building. That is creating something amazing where there was once nothing. Many moons ago, my husband and I first started our journey to Merino homes, that is our building company. My husband was a carpenter and I worked for a car rental agency at Sydney Airport. We had many friends that were tradesmen, and I started to see a very big divide between people who loved what they did and the quality of their work compared to people who do it to pay the bills. We have a friend of ours who was a landscaper. When I first met him, I asked him, as I do many of our trades, did you always want to be a landscaper? He looked me straight in the eye and he said yes. He told me a story about when he was 10, he mowed every single lawn on his street, and that his favourite birthday was when he was 13, not because he was officially a teenager, but because his father told him he was old enough to use the lawn edger. I would often go onto his sites and see these beautiful outdoor spaces that he was creating one at a time, as my husband worked with him on a number of the jobs. And I would see the heart and soul put into these projects, and I fell in love with projects that were completed by people who loved what they do. When you love what you do, your soul gets put into it, your heart, you feel that love, and then it passes on to the others. So it's really important to have that care and that respect for the products that you're using, and not just doing it to pay the bills. And I know that, you often hear these inspirational talks where they say, do what you love, don't have plan B, it distracts you from plan A, and you've got to pay the bills. I understand that. And sometimes you've got to be a superhero, you've got to be Superman. So you've got to do your daily job during the day and go home and do what you love at night. But, if the love's there, and the passion, and that it should come out in your work. I wanted to read you an excerpt out of a book I've read called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I don't know if you know him, he's an American, but he's an amazing speaker, and he's all about finding your why. Consider the story of two stonemasons. You walk up to the first stonemason and ask, "Do you like your job?" He looks up and replies, "I've been building this wall for as long as I can remember. The work is monotonous. I work in the scorching hot sun all day. The stones are heavy and lifting them day after day can be backbreaking. I'm not even sure this project will be completed in my lifetime, but it's a job. It pays the bills." You thank him for his time and walk on. About 30 feet away, you walk up to the second stonemason. You ask him the same question, "Do you like your job?" He looks up and replies, "I love my job. I'm building a cathedral. Sure, I've been working on this wall for as long as I can remember, and yes, the work's sometimes monotonous. I work in the scorching hot sun all day. The stones are heavy, and lifting them day after day can be backbreaking. I'm not even sure this project will be done in my lifetime, but I'm building a cathedral." These two masons are doing the same job, but one has a sense of purpose. In this day and age, in a competitive market, you need to have a sense of purpose. This purpose will push you through the hard times, push you through the situations that may seem unfair. It will push you to get to your destination, to your goal. Loving what you do doesn't cut it anymore because people fall in and out of love every day. Having purpose is what gives you drive. Being a part of something bigger than yourself. Having purpose is what makes you stay up late and get up early. Purpose is what works in the background and receives no thanks, no gold stars, no certificate at the end of the day. But it does give you a sense of fulfillment and achievement, and that is why I asked you earlier, what does success look like to you? What feeling do you feel at the end of a hard day's work? How well do you sleep at night when you are successful? I started in the industry with a passion for beautiful homes. From there I became fascinated in how people live out in the spaces that we were creating. And when I met my now husband, we decided to build homes and we created our vision, our destination. He was a carpenter at the time, so he furthered his education to become a builder, and I started working in local government because I wanted to understand the submission process and the stigma that revolved around that. With builders and council, it was very much an us first them scenario whenever you heard the story told. When I worked at council, I realised that you don't only deal with the planning department, but so many different aspects of council. So I worked myself into a department that specialised in customer service, and you became a specialist in all departments of council and helped manage any complaint that came in to make sure that they were talking to the right person in the right department, and managed multiple issues that came from the singular complaint. And you were involved in many levels of council and it gave me great exposure, and I've had a lot of mentors in that industry that really opened my eyes to how we could do things better. From here we started to build the foundations of a building company. And we had a firm set of values and beliefs. I wanted to bring your attention to this because one home isn't built by one individual. It takes many people to create a quality home. And if I can give you a little bit to remember today, is that you cannot do it alone. Our industries may differ, but from concept to completion, it is rare occasion that you can do it on your own. Being in an industry with so many people, I recommend creating a community with a common set of values and beliefs. Build that community with people's trades, suppliers, contacts and peers, people who have those values and beliefs. We believe that doing a good job, care should be taken, that there is rewarding quality work, and that hard discussions that need to be had should be approached with a proactive mindset. When you're doing it proactively, there's no dwelling on the past. Blame games, there is no room for that on my work site, and I do not tolerate it. We set a standard, we never drop it. Our trades have a clear understanding of our values and beliefs because they align with their own. Building a home can be one of the biggest investments that someone will make, and we really value that investment because it's not only financially, but it's emotionally. It's where they're going to be having their most intimate times of their lives. We believe that building a good home is like a good bottle of red. The grapes are the foundation, a result of professionals' hard work. They are handpicked, nurtured, and then they go through a unique process, and when done well, it's created into a beautiful wine. This is what a beautiful home can be. When that wine is passed on to the owner and cared for correctly, time will only add character to it. and as it matures, it's only there to be enjoyed. And that's what we believe a quality home should be, there for the many years to be enjoyed. We always wanted to do custom homes and had been running for some time, but it wasn't until I found out that I was pregnant with my third son, yes, I am a mum of all boys, did my passion go into superdrive. I realised that I was not only in an industry that was being designed by men, built by men, engineered by men. And don't get me wrong, there are amazing men out there doing amazing things, same with the women in the building industry, and that's not what this is about. But when I decided that I was having yet my third boy, I spent about a week crying. When I got over that, my passion and drive intensified to a degree that was almost overwhelming. I realised that I was a minority. I was a mum of all boys. Why not design a home for a mother raising all boys? What about a home for a mother raising all girls? Or a third family where the parents only have pets as children? What about single-sex families, divorcees, retirees? These are all minorities. With a population that is growing faster than the market can sustain, minorities matter. As a mum, with the cards that I had been dealt, I then had a purpose, a drive to push the hypothetical building envelope. I was assessing our clients and what minorities they fit into, what made them unique, and how we could create their spaces to grow with them. Being a woman in a male-dominated industry makes me a minority, but it does not define me. I am also a mum, a daughter, a sister, an in-law. I'm a country girl at heart. I love dancing, and I'm very competitive and Pictionary. All of these life experiences combined equally unique makeup. That is what drives me to honour who I am, to honour my brand, which at the end of the day is me. That is what helps me sleep at night and clears my mind at the end of the day, and it is the purpose that gets me to my goals and to my destination. Values and beliefs come from who I am and how I got here. There's a saying in the Navy SEALs, which is, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. What you need to understand is the journey is what makes the destination so valuable. The journey is life. You've been invested in by this great college, but it is now your responsibility to couple this knowledge with wisdom, whether it's wisdom from a mother or a father, an aunt and uncle, a teacher or a mentor, but most of all wisdom from your life experiences. Because when common people do common things in uncommon ways, they demand the attention of the world. Pairing your knowledge with wisdom will keep you grounded in the turbulence of the storm I call business. This combination will guide you through the ups and downs of life and will allow you to make an impact. You are now in a unique field. You are in an area of business that cannot be replaced by computers or machines. You're in an area of business that requires the human factor. The power of colour and design is something only the human factor can create. A computer can't calculate the smell of a bakery on a hot summer's day, or the beauty of a storm when it's coming in from the west. Have you ever been to a place and someone say, I don't know why, but it's always cold in here? Or in a waiting room and felt very unwelcome? Today, I believe you can officially say that you have a superpower. You have the ability to change how people live out their lives in the spaces they live in, and this is an achievement that you should be proud of. As a woman in a male-dominated industry, I focus on this human factor. I tirelessly work to make the client's journey every bit as enjoyable as the destination. And when I say client, I don't just mean the people that own the homes. I mean my trades, my employees, the people that supply us the products, everyone that I come in contact. I believe that everybody who is in my team deserves the same respect and honesty that my clients do. Yes, I have lunches with reps and I have cup of teas with my clients and Vickies in the afternoon. But if a hole needs to be dug, I grab a shovel and I dig that hole. If the site needs to be cleaned, I grab a broom and I clean the site. If my painters paint a ceiling timber ceiling the wrong colour and they are short on time, then I'll grab a sander, I'll get up on the scaffold and I'll sand back the ceiling, because I'm a team player. We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence should be a habit, not an act, said Aristotle. Work hard, be respectful, and have a clear destination so people know where you are going. It will help them understand your vision and your plan. I spoke earlier about creating a community. The human factor is what builds that community. a community with common sets of values and beliefs, a community that does not have to agree but is united moving forward. I don't have to have the backs of my trades because they are good quality trades and they know what they're doing, but I definitely stand beside them strong because our values are aligned. I know that they believe what we believe and they carry our clients' best interest at heart. They know our core values and honour them. This is what earns respect in our industry. It is not your title, your gender, or where you've come from. You can't earn trust and respect overnight. This takes time, but aligning yourself with people with the same set of beliefs, you are all of a sudden working together and you share your purpose. There is no blame game. There is no he said, she said. It's about the bigger picture. It's about the people standing by your side, and when you make mistakes, walking with them over the finish line. There is no one left behind, no woman, no man, no child for the wolves. I'm not saying that you won't have the naysayers or the people who will try to cut you down. I'm saying that you need to focus on that destination. You need to see your goal and you need to fly over them. It is hard to start a battle with no ammunition. The people that do are toxic and better left to their own destruction, because trust me, they will destruct. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Let the haters be and fly over them. Stay on track, keep on your journey and reach your destination. As you start the next step into the rest of your life, I want to leave you with a little bit of wisdom to pair with the knowledge that you have gained from this great college. Pick your destination. It may change. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But that's okay. You always need somewhere to land. Don't run out of fuel. Don't let toxic people control where you are going. And most of all, don't lose your human factor. Be kind. When mistakes are made, be problematic. Be humble and be respectful. And most of all, find out who you are and be you, because you are your own brand. You need to do good by that brand and honour it. The billionaire and the beggar both have 24 hours in the day. How they use it is the difference. Thank you.